Hi, I'm Lippy.
And I'm Grumpy. Together we're Lippy and Grumpy Do Podcasting.
In this episode, Lippy's starting DIY, a Twotter has been spotted, racing pigeons with maps, and a sinkhole update.
Now, Lippy, you're in your new house.
I am! In a very makeshift studio, let's call it.
Yeah, so there might be a little bit of echo and a bit of a creaking from your chair as well.
A fair lot, and a bit of sniffing from my hay fever because it's hit me hard today.
Yeah, well, I'll do my best to edit that out. Yes, the creaking and the echo is very difficult, beyond my skills.
Yes.
Anyway, I know the move went well because I was there, with the exception of the van.
With the exception of the van, it was a very smooth and seamless day, I would say.
Yes, I'd say that too.
We even got a lovely coffee break in the middle.
Yes, we did. We discovered a lovely cafe about 5 minutes walk from your new house.
Oh, not even that, I don't think.
No, but it might be 5 minutes back with a full breakfast on board.
That is true.
That was all good. We won't go into a huge amount of detail.
To be honest, I foresaw it happening and I didn't double check when I thought it was going to happen, so I should have done that.
Oh, so it was your fault?
It wasn't my fault at all, thank you. I made the booking. They just didn't write it in the diary.
Well, we ended up doing 3 trips with a smaller van, which actually worked fine.
It did, yeah. The last trip was more of a just lob whatever's left in.
Yep, so all was good, and we were sat down by about 4 o'clock.
Ready for dinner.
Drinking and ready for dinner, yeah. So that was all good. So now you've got a massive DIY programme.
I do, and I'm so excited. I've been buying all my bits and all my paint, and I've obviously borrowed some sanders from you and some wallpaper strippers, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, to be honest, I never thought I'd see the day where goggles, masks and sandpaper would appear on an Amazon order with your name on it.
To be honest, the sandpaper I don't think is even going to come in time because I left it too late.
Oh no, have you got a local branch of something that might sound like Screwfix?
I have leftover sandpaper from when I did the door, so I'm going to try and use that. But I don't think it's the right size. But we'll have a go. If not, I'll go to B&Q.
Yeah, that should do it. Excellent. Well, we look forward to hearing about your DIY adventures next week.
And how many fingers I lose in the process of sanding down my walls.
Yes, well, hopefully none.
Fingers crossed, literally.
So we've had a 1 week break. We
have.
pre-recorded last week's podcast, so there was no news or no listener feedback. No. So we've got a bumper amount of news and feedback to get through, which is good.
Yes, we do.
So the first one was on the Gram, as it's now known as in our household, the Gram. And it's the Gram story, which I don't understand or do. But it was from Mini Matt, if you remember a couple of weeks ago. And he's on a camping trip down in the West Country. He spotted a twotter at Land's End and took a photo of it.
I have seen that, haven't I?
Yes, very pleased to see that. But don't quite know how you like a story or share it or do anything like that. So, yes, so I didn't do any of that whatsoever. And following on from last week's kayaking piece that we did, the Frozen Camper dropped me a photograph of her partner and her partner's daughter kayaking on the Cookmere, I think it is, near the Seven Sisters on the south coast. Ooh. And it looked like a lovely spot. Really, really nice. Unfortunately, it's quite popular and limited parking, so you have to get there very early. Or, presumably, park further upstream and just paddle down. But then you've got to paddle upstream, which could be a bit tricky.
It's a bit of a nightmare.
Bit of a nightmare, yes. And good to see they were both wearing life jackets.
Oh, yeah, always. Is that in the sea?
It's not quite the sea, but it's not far off it.
No. We did it actually, we did wear life jackets on a very tame river. Can't remember now.
Well, the thing is that rivers have rocks sticking out, and it's very easy to tip out and bang your head on a rock. Oh. Yes, life jacket, always a good idea. And a few weeks ago, we talked about daleks and stairs. Davros had mentioned that they've been climbing stairs for 30 years, which we poo-pooed.
Yeah, we don't like that they climb stairs.
Well, we don't like it. We didn't believe it was 30 years. Nevertheless, in Private Eye last week, there was a letter which Davros assures me was not written by him. And it says, so Chris Owen, who is the original letter writer, is naive in using stairs to avoid pursuit by Daleks. They demonstrated a stair-conquering ability as early as 1988 during an episode titled Remembrance of the Daleks Part 1. And I sent a picture of this to Davros, and he said, Hugh Nerve knows his stuff.
I still feel like I watched the first episode where they went upstairs.
Well, you may well have seen what I thought was the first one. Apparently, Davros said if you blinked, you'd miss it.
Okay.
Sure whether he's referring to the last 30 years or the bit where they climbed the stairs. So, but yeah, 30 years, which is
Crazy.
astonishing.
That's a long time to be climbing stairs.
Oh, it's a long time to be fleeing from Daleks. So a few weeks ago, I mentioned the sinkhole outside of our house,
Yes.
which had got a fair bit of attention. There may be some noise in the background, and that is a massive machine laying concrete into the hole.
Is that the big Nunu looking thing?
I think so. Wife of Grumpy's just sent round some pictures of some pretty impressive looking bits of equipment.
Looks like the vacuum cleaner off the Teletubbies.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Yes, but quite a bit bigger. Anyway, they all pitched up on Monday, get the day right, and dug a hole, and I think they went through a gas pipe. So they then spent yesterday reconnecting people across the road via some yellow plastic piping. Bit of frantic activity yesterday, and literally at 5 o'clock they've turned up with this big machine and filling it full of something or other. So we're in a closed road situation, so it's literally right by our driveway, and it actually comes up on Google Maps as closed as well, which is quite cool.
Can you get out of the driveway?
Can get out. Getting in, I have to reverse about 150 yards because there's no way of, and I have to reverse in. I can't go forwards because then I can't get out of the car because I'm right next to a hedge.
Yeah.
So it has to be backwards. So it means some quite nifty reversing.
Oh, I do like a bit of reversing.
Because I won't turn around, I have to use the mirrors.
Yeah.
Quite good. So hopefully that will all be done this week. Be quite good, and no more collapsing drains.
Well, we'll see how long it takes for it to sink again.
Well, hopefully they've done it properly if they've bunged a whole load of concrete down there. But it is a worry that was over a gas pipe.
Yeah.
So that could have fractured at any moment, which is...
Massive gas leak that could have been.
Yeah, not nice at all. Anyway, on a slightly different subject, just seen a posting on Facebook about racing pigeons, which is not something I would normally look at, but two friends of mine have reposted it. And it says, this weekend has seen one of the very worst pigeon racing days in our history. Out there are thousands of racing pigeons that are tired and lost. It would appear that solar flare activity was likely to have caused the problem.
They still race pigeons?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
still
it's a fun thing. Yeah, it's a fun thing. So what they do is they put... Yeah, it is really cool, actually. And they put them in on an articulated or quite a big lorry off to one point. And they have some sort of ID on their legs, a little ring or something. So it's a little bit like in the First World War where they'd use pigeons
letters
as
and
messengers.
things, yeah,
exactly. So don't confuse it with Harry Potter, though, and owls, because that's different.
No.
Okay.
I've seen the film. What's it? Valkyrie? Is that what it's called? With the pigeons.
Yes.
I love that film.
It's a cartoon, though.
Oh, yeah, that's good, though.
Or animated.
I can't imagine. That would have been a bit hard to do with real pigeons, Dad. They don't talk.
Oh, that's very true. So anyway, so they take these pigeons that can't talk to a central spot and they let them all go at the same time. And then the pigeons will arrive at their destination and I think there's a timestamp for whatever it is so they can work out who got there the quickest.
Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, how they know the way is
crazy.
Strange. I have no idea how that works. But obviously, solar flares come into it.
So they've obviously got very confused about the flares and...
Yes, and I think I read something about sharks, I think it was, where they use magnetic poles to work out where to go. So maybe it's something similar.
Are they given like a map? Like to look at beforehand? Like how do they know that we want them to fly there?
Think that one through.
No, I know. I understand that sounds really dumb. But like how do they know we want them to fly to a specific place?
Well, no, they fly home. They take them on the lorry to a place and then they fly home.
That makes so much sense. So like when we were sending letters to people in France, we would use French pigeons. And the pigeons would get shipped to England. The letter would be added and then they'd be released and they'd fly back to France.
Yeah, I don't know the mechanics of the First World War pigeons, but it would have been something like that, I guess.
Interesting. I just thought there was some sort of weird, like sonar, mind transferring information.
What, with a map?
With a map.
I have a vision of pigeons looking at maps now that I can't get of. I think that has to go in the Lippyisms page, to be honest.
Pigeons looking at maps.
I thought they gave them a map.
You never know.
I think you've reached a new peak.
It's been a very long and stressful week, okay?
Maybe that's the reason. So also in the news this week was a gentleman who received a Father's Day card by accident from a very young child, actually a baby. And his partner saw the card, thought he'd been cheating, and went absolutely berserk.
I heard about this.
Yeah, so she smashed his TV, laptop, and personal phone before he could make it home. So presumably she opened the envelope.
Yeah, she opened his post.
Yeah,
She'd be sent to jail for that.
You can actually, that is illegal.
Yeah, it's a criminal offence opening somebody's post.
Yeah, so it was one of these online card printers and senders. And they just got it a bit wrong, that was all. So that could have gone horribly wrong.
That could have. Well, it kind of did. She smashed up his everything.
Yes, I know, but imagine if he'd been there.
I got you a cracking Father's Day card. I was very impressed with myself.
Yes, you did. That was very good. I'll take a photo of that and stick it on whatever it is that we stick these on the gram. That's the one.
The gram.
On
yes.
the gram. Apparently, the chap has forgiven his partner, but I'd be very worried, to be honest, with that
there's
sort of anger.
Slight psychopathic vibes there, isn't it? Because all it took was for her to see a card that said Father's Day and not ask or even consider that it was a mistake, go straight to smashing stuff.
Yes, indeed.
That's
She
an
does
issue.
say, I'm fiery. That's obviously a given.
If I was him, she would be fired-y from the girlfriend position.
She also then says it's probably breaching data protection. Well, actually, you've been opening mail that's addressed to somebody else as well. So I'd keep very quiet about that one if I was you.
Yeah, don't go down that route.
No, quite. No, if there's finger pointing to be done, I think there's quite a lot of fingers pointing at you.
And surely it's not data protection breach because it's just been sent to the wrong person. It's not like the other person's address is on there.
I don't know. It depends on whether it's personal identifiable data or not, and I suspect it's
Not.
probably not.
If
But
it's just their name. Well, surely there isn't even a name in it because otherwise she would have read that it was some other guy's name and not smashed everything up because it wasn't addressed to her partner.
yeah, good point. I don't know.
See, you've got to think logically about these things, you know?
You do.
Don't go straight to smashing things.
The gentleman involved said, of course it's not her fault. She's suspicious because I was a naughty boy 15 years ago.
Okay. It's
Okay,
his fault
so-
then, completely. He deserves
Yeah.
to have a smashed computer and
Well, not
laptop and
really.
TV. Well,
Not really.
it can be a backdated deserved. Karma, that's what it is. It's karma.
Oh, well, yeah, something like that. Anyway, moving on to lucky things. I came across an article of a squirrel running across the track at an IndyCar race.
Oh my God.
Just missing the car by, well, millimetres, I would have said. Very,
That
very
is a
close call.
brave squirrel.
Brave or stupid?
I wonder what was on the other side.
Well, that's a very good question.
Like what it wanted to run
Yeah.
across a racetrack like that.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Mind you, it didn't do the squirrel thing they sometimes do, is where they'll run in front of
Zigzag.
a car and then turn round and run back again and then get run over. So they make it over in one go and then decide it was better on the other side, or whatever goes through a squirrel's mind before the front wheel of a car.
Yes. Very lucky squirrel, that.
Very lucky squirrel, but also it's the sort of thing that you could swerve to avoid and then cause a monumental accident.
Yeah, lucky none of them swerved, actually. Especially, was it NASCAR?
It was NASCAR, yeah.
Yeah, because they have some major crashes, don't they, if they crash?
They can do, yeah. No, it wasn't NASCAR, sorry, it was IndyCar. So it was
What's
on a
IndyCar?
circuit. It's a little bit like Formula One cars.
Okay.
So that sort of style of car. So
Oh, so it's
open-wheeled
probably not
cars.
as fast.
Probably is as fast, but it's what I would call a proper circuit rather than an oval. NASCAR tends to be on an oval, so they're
Yes.
forever turning
I've
left.
seen Talladega Nights. I know
Yeah.
about NASCAR.
Yes, exactly, yeah. And you sometimes do get IndyCars on those circuits, I believe. But, I don't know too much about it, but it's quite exciting when We did.
When there's squirrels involved, it looks
when there's
amazing.
squirrels. Maybe that's what they need for Formula One, to spice it up a bit more. I don't know, it's been better this year. I have
Throw
to
a
say.
few squirrels in there.
Throw a bit of squirrels and snakes in the car. That's the other thing. Just a random snake in a car will make all the difference.
Car, yes. What it needs to be is that nobody knows which car it's in, and it's in like a little automatic gate, and you release the snake like halfway through, and then it just starts slithering up your leg, and that's when you have to keep your cool, get into the pits, get the snake out, and carry on.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
I think was it the Grand Tour did something similar. I can't remember which one it was. There was it wasn't with a snake, but the three presenters, I mean, two of which are in their late 50s, they drank quite a lot of water, and then at the point they needed to go for a wee, they got in the cars and did a lap, and then had to queue up for the toilet. And it would be interesting to see the difference in the lap times between needing a wee and not needing a wee. Although, if I remember rightly, Clarkson just didn't make it.
He doesn't make it. That doesn't surprise me.
Of an age. And talking of animals, there was a selection of photos on the Daily Mail website. Instead of really nice, sharp photos of creatures, they were really rubbish ones. Actually, some of them were quite good, I thought. There was one of an irate bird, they call it, which is just had enough, basically. And it's a little bit out of focus, but you can see the rage in the bird's face. It's quite clever. And also a goose that's had enough and is attacking a person, which is not unusual, to be honest.
Yeah, story of a goose's life, that one.
Yes, absolutely. And then a rather unfortunate picture of a squirrel from underneath and a bobcat using the swimming pool as a toilet.
Oh, delightful.
Yes, not very nice. So I'll post a link to those because I think they're cracking because they're
I will
normal.
definitely be having a look at those later. They sound hilarious.
They all seem to have come from Bored Panda, which is a website that I keep coming across time and time again with weird news stories and very bizarre facts. Maybe there's more on there. Who knows? Now, I don't know if you remember, many, many weeks ago, we talked about running the game Doom on a pregnancy tester.
Yes.
Well,
that's
they've
right.
been at
That
it
was
again.
many weeks. That was months ago.
I think it might have been one of the very first episodes, actually. Anyway, they've been at it again, and they've got it to run on an IKEA smart bulb. Would you believe?
But there's no screen on a bulb.
No. They've added a screen to it, but the processor in the bulb is the one that's running Doom.
The Doom.
Yeah, so it's not... Yeah, it's a little bit contrived because there isn't a screen. But it has to be said, the actual Doom program is running on the chip that controls the bulb.
Impressive.
Really impressive. And when you think... they're talking about a 486 33 hertz machine, which would have been late 80s, early 90s as the machine to have. So it's a good few years ago. So, and when you think that there's a law called Moore's law that says the number of transistors on a chip doubles every 2 years, about 2 years. Although I think that's possibly run out now. That's reached the end of its limit. But in 30 years, that's a lot of progression and a lot more power in a chip just to control a light bulb.
Seems crazy, doesn't it? All of our light bulbs we control on our phones and through Alexa, who's now activated.
As have many around the world. And also, a friend sent to me a really interesting website, which I think I may have seen before, but it's still worthy of talking about. And it's called bombsite.org. And it covers London and the London Blitz between October 1940 and June 1941. And it shows you where the bombs landed.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, it's not cool, but that is cool.
Well, as a piece of history, it's really very interesting. And it tells you a lot about the bombs themselves. So that's a bit of a live thing. So roughly where the O2 is now, there was a number of bombs. So there was parachute mine, high explosive bomb, lots of high explosive bombs. So there's an indication about what it actually was. When you click on it, it tells you exactly
They need to go next level with that you like click on the bomb and it's like CGI of it landing and blowing up.
It'd be interesting to see a before and after the blast and how it is now. I think that would be quite interesting. I don't know whether it covers things like V2 rockets.
Has anywhere gone off where you live?
No, it doesn't go that far out. But interestingly,
it's mainly London.
I found somebody posted on our local Facebook group today, sort of potted history of the village from the first parts of the church being built in the 1100s through to current day. And on one of those was bombs landing on the infant school in the village during the war.
Nice.
So, and remember, we had, Dunsfold is not far away.
No.
Which was built by the Canadians for the Second World War. So that was a possible target as well. So that's very interesting, I think. Particularly if you live in that area, you can see what there was that fell. And as you zoom out, you just see loads and loads of red. I mean, it is, it's staggering that monuments like St Paul's are still standing.
Yeah, because they would have been quite easy targets, I reckon.
Well, just the amount. I mean, they called it the Blitz, and it was a blitz. It's
constant bombing all around.
Yeah, it must have been a terrifying time to live in.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely terrifying.
So I had an exciting Monday.
Oh, please tell.
I took my first trip back into the office.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lovely little half day. I just did the morning in the office, but I forgot how nice it was, to be honest.
Really? Did you find it okay?
No, it's such a maze. I walked in and in my brain I was like, right, I know where this is. I know where it is. I know where it is. Because it wasn't the office. It was like my manager's office because we were having like a big meeting about work and stuff. Not performance review. I already passed that. But
oh, very good.
So it was her office and his office, not my old office, which is in a separate building. So I walk in and I'm like, I know where it is because I've been there before, but also I don't know where it is. And the doors are automated and you have to scan yourself through. And it didn't scan me through because I'm not authorised access to that area.
Oh.
Because I'm not a manager and I'm not a surgeon. Basically, they're the two requirements you need to get in, and I'm neither of those things. So I had to explain to the lady, I was like, is my manager there? Like, am I allowed in here? Is this where I need to be? And I got it right, thankfully. But it was all very stressful to start with.
Yeah, I bet it was.
But it was so nice being in an office meeting room with other people and not on a Zoom call.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And they were saying, they were like, oh, are you enjoying working from home? And I was like, well, I was. But now that I've come in, I've kind of missed it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy either way now. If they need me in the office, I'm happy to go in. But if they want me at home still, then I'll stay at home.
Yes, we have no sign of returning. So I don't know what's going to be the plan there.
It was nice to just be able to have a conversation and not trying to figure out if you can talk, because it's easier to pick up on cues and things when you see someone in person. I think I'm going, as of August, I'll be doing one day in the office.
Okay, well, that's all right.
I like it. And that's the best of both worlds, really, because I do enjoy just rolling out of bed, rolling downstairs and turning the on button on my computer.
Yes, of course. It's the commute is brilliant.
Yeah, but crazy though. First time I met my line manager in person and my service manager in person.
That is remarkable, isn't it?
And I've been there 6 months.
Yeah. Well, you think how many people have changed jobs and have never been and seen people face to face? It must be quite a lot.
It really is. They were as nice as I thought they were. Obviously, I've seen them a lot on FaceTime, on Teams. They're my vibes. They're my kind of people.
My vibes.
Yeah. Just super chill. Don't really care about of being formal. They're a lot more like, if you need to come and chat to us, just come and have a chat. Like, don't get worked up and then have a go or get angry or upset. They're just like, if you've got an issue, just come and say. It's my kind of people. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We talked about open plan offices last week, and what I didn't mention is about getting lost in them.
Because they all look the same.
Well, I've worked in a number of large offices at Hewlett-Packard, and the oddity is you get led to a desk when you arrive, and then you go, okay, so where are the toilets, and how do I get out? And once I'm out, how do I get back again?
And you need to kind of leave something that sticks up to signify your desk, so that from a distance you can spot it.
That's a very good idea. I had a landmark of a series of clocks showing the time in different time zones, but they were all slightly out, which really frustrated me affected my OCD quite a bit.
Yeah,
So,
I can imagine.
Fortunately, there was only one wall with those on there. So if you could see the row of clocks, you knew you were fairly close. And then
Yeah.
at least you could walk up and down till you spotted your bag.
Yeah.
So we've had quite a bit of rain over the last week and been up to the
So
allotment
much rain.
Yeah. We had less than was forecast at one point, but it was still quite a lot. So I haven't been up to the allotment. So I'm imagining all the weeding I did a week or so ago has now reappeared.
Especially with the sunshine we've had
Yes,
today.
exactly. Yeah.
It's ideal for... We've got a weird plant that sticks out of our decking that we will be getting rid of, but it's like tripled in size in a week.
Yeah, they do that. Sunshine and water will
Needs
make
to
all-
go.
Well, it makes the weeds grow. I've managed to salvage 2 Brussels sprout plants from the carnage of whatever it was that ate the others, but they are growing so slowly. I mean, they're looking quite good. There were 3, but one of them's gone a bit wilty, gone a bit leggy.
Well, you don't need them just yet, do you? So
No, but interesting, I've been watching Clarkson's Farm, which I highly recommend.
I've heard that's a bit on the edge some points. Very
On the edge of
funny.
what? It is very funny, and by his own admission, he's the most unsuitable person to run a farm ever.
Yes.
But he loves doing it, and I think, I won't spoil it, but the amount of money he makes in the year is very, very small indeed. But he thoroughly enjoys it.
Yeah, that is really, doesn't
And
it?
he's doing a lot for the environment as well in terms of conservation. So, but anyway, I mean, one of the things that you appreciate for having seen that is that timing is everything, and weather could really affect your crops. And I think that's what I've discovered with these Brussels is that even though it started to grow, it could be too late.
Yeah.
So you've missed the period where they really need to grow. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But getting stuff in on time is really important. And it's obviously there's a big difference between 9 metre by 3 allotment and a 1,000-acre farm.
Yes, definitely. Talking of growing, we left our beloved blueberry plant at the house because we didn't want it travelling in the van because we were a bit worried that something was gonna happen to it. So he got picked up on, must have been Monday or Tuesday. Oh, no,
Okay.
yeah, Monday or Tuesday we picked him up in the car. He got seat belted in.
Fantastic.
Lucky boy. So many blueberries.
Oh, brilliant.
When we left him, they were starting to grow, very green still, but there's so many blue ones now and they taste really good. We've got
Excellent.
another great crop of blueberries.
That's good. I have to report my strawberry thief is back.
Do you know what it is?
I think it's small and furry. So what I'm going to do is make up an additional cage which is lined with metal mesh.
On
so-
top of the other cage.
Well, it's around the strawberries. Strawberries are in a raised bed. And I was down there watering one morning. I thought, right, I'll measure it. And instead of opening the shed and getting a tape measure out, I decided to measure it with my feet, which was an act of lunacy, to be honest. So I measured it and I got home and I've got some old trellis that we had. I thought that is perfect for it. So I measured it with my feet and thought, I'll just do it a bit more. So I cut 4 of these things and I managed to staple the wire on one and I looked at him and that is far too big. I think it needs to be quite tight around it. So I thought, that's not a problem. I'll pop up there and measure it. And we haven't had a dry day when I've been free since. So hopefully Friday afternoon or evening it will be
You'll
dry.
be able to go up and measure
be
it
able to go
out.
and at least have a measure and then try and dig out some weeds. But peas are certainly coming on well, but everything feels a little bit late because of the weather we've had.
Yeah, we didn't have much sun, did we, until a couple of weeks ago?
No, we had that very dry period in April. Hot and dry for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. To be honest, I have come to my own conclusion. There is no research or anything to back this up other than my head.
Oh dear.
That the weather being delayed and it was being rainy for so long is the reason the hay fever's so bad this year.
Oh yeah, because it would have come on with a
Because like the
sudden
spring
flurry.
and
Yeah.
summer flowers are all coming together.
Yes, I think you're
So
probably
like
right.
all the pollen is just everywhere and it's not okay.
No, it's not.
Not okay.
No, definitely not. So, do you have a top tip?
I do. Well, it's a kind of top tip. And it may not be my top tip next week after I've done some DIY.
Okay. It may be an anti-tip.
It might be an anti-tip. But my top tip is a very simple, more of a slogan than a top tip. It's give it a go. If you look at something and you think, I could pay someone to do that, give it a go yourself first. See how it goes, then pay someone if it goes badly.
Yes, I rather think the people that were trying to fix the road outside our house had that mindset. We'll give it a go. Oh, we've gone through a gas pipe.
I might backtrack next week, but at the moment we're in give it a go mode.
Well, that's very commendable.
Yeah, the dining table together myself did a cracking job.
Excellent. Very
Not
good
attempting to put the TV on the wall though.
No.
Because if that doesn't go well, that's a wall down and a smashed TV.
Yeah, that's not good.
But other than that, give it a go.
Yes. And also stay away from plumbing or electrics if you're not
Yes.
sure. So I have a fun fact for the week.
Is it fun?
It is fun.
Is it a fact?
No, it's a fact. I'm not sure it's fun, but it is interesting.
Okay.
So Joseph Strauss, the structural engineer who built the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco,
Yes.
was concerned about the safety of his workers. So he had a net installed underneath the bridge during the construction, which saved 19 lives.
What a clever man.
Well, what a very thoughtful man.
Yeah, that's very commendable actually in those days, isn't it? To think about the actual workers.
Yes, and I mean, the high steel workers, there's some black and white photos of them having lunch sat on a steel girder, well, not miles, but a substantial distance above the city. That
The question
terrifies me.
That picture is awesome, that one of them all sat having their lunch. But have you seen the picture of the man taking the picture? That is terrifying.
No, I haven't. Well,
He's
look
like
that one up.
balancing on the edge of what similar to what they're on, but trying to stand up and angle the camera to get them all in.
Yes, I've just found it. That really is quite terrifying.
Yeah. And he's got his leg one either side of a pole.
Yeah. That is remarkable. The thing that's always impressed me about, well, now both of those photos, is how well dressed the workers are. I mean, the photographer's in decent pair of trousers, some very smart brogues, a tie.
And
he's
chilling.
dressed for the office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, on that high level note, that's it for this podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
You can help spread Lippy and Grumpy's view on life by leaving a review on your favourite podcast platform.
If you're not sure how to leave a review, or if you download from Spotify, there's some help at lippyandgrumpy.uk/review.
And if you would like to get in touch, email podcast@lippyandgrumpy.uk.
So it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
Bye.